What's up, guys? It's Goose, and welcome to our Week 1 recap and our first main episode of the GooseCast, or whatever you guys want to call it, the Goose Podcast for NFL content. It was a crazy week in the NFL, and we are going to be recapping everything that happened this week and making our predictions and stuff for next week. If you don't watch this thing, the one thing I do want you to do is make sure to skip towards the end where we talk about fantasy picks for next week. I'm going to be running contests each week for you guys to pick a short fantasy roster. This is something Zach and I are going to keep track of, but I also want you guys to get involved within the comments below. Skip to that part. I'll show you what you need to do. Comment your 5 players, and the winners each week will be able to have a chance at gift cards as long as we get enough people. And kind of throughout the year, I'll be keeping track of who does well, and we'll have big contests and stuff for that. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoy. What's up, guys, and welcome to week 2 of our weekly NFL podcast here. I'm here with Zach, and like I said, we are going over week 1 of the NFL season. We've got a lot of stuff planned today. This is our first official full podcast, like I said, in full of everything that we've wanted to be doing. A quick kind of overview of what's going to be going on today. First, we're going to recap what happened last week and kind of go over our picks, what happened in our fantasy leagues, all that stuff. Just a major recap of the first week of the NFL season. And then we'll be moving into previewing next week, week 2, where we go over our picks and starting up a little fantasy thing that we're going to be doing every single week here that you guys can play along with as well. So let's get started. We got to get started because this is going to be a while, talk a while about a lot of these games and a pretty crazy first week in the NFL. The picks for me didn't go quite as planned. You're a little bit more on track, but a fun week.
A little bit better.
For sure.
Just a little bit.
I'm so glad football is back. We're going to start off with the first game on Thursday. Bills-Rams, first game of the season, just absolute annihilation. I guess we probably expected. The Bills are looking like the Bills. Stafford didn't have a good game there. I picked the Rams, and that didn't go well. So good start to the season, 0-1. We watched that game.
I was gonna say you were talking about how everybody expected it, but
time.
I'm looking at your pick, and I don't know if you expected it.
Yeah, you're probably right, but it was not close at all. Josh Allen took over.
Stephon Diggs.
I'll take it for fantasy. Gabe Davis, not as much, but still, it was a fun game to start off the season with. Pretty entertaining seeing the Bills just annihilate them. Next.
Entertaining unlike the rest of the weekend.
So obviously, 1 o'clock slot on Sunday is always just a blast because there's so many games going on at once, so much to watch, so much to keep track of. So Zach and I are Lions fans, as you can probably see by our jerseys. So we were watching the Lions game, but I had some other games on, obviously trying to keep tabs on everything that I possibly could. So we're going to go down the list of these games here. The Saints just barely squeaking it out against the Falcons. Michael Thomas coming back with 2 touchdowns, game-winning field goal right at the end. The Falcons kind of went down the field and weren't able to get anything going. Closer than probably a lot of people thought in that game.
Yeah, really close. I think it was a product of bad play calling. I was talking to you. Alvin Kamara got 3 targets the whole game.
Yep.
You can't do that. Alvin Kamara's got to get 6, 7, 8 targets a game. He's just very good receiving. He can't have 3 targets. So I think maybe as Brian Allen starts to get more used to the coaching scheme, he'll figure it out. They'll be fine.
No, they came back from a 16-point deficit, I believe. So poor Falcons once again. It was 26-10, I think, at one point, and they did it again. So that's...
I saw, the Falcons have blown more 14-point leads in the fourth quarter than every other team combined over the last 5 years.
It's not good at all. So, we figured the Falcons were going to be good this year. At least they had a good start to the game. They just got to finish that. So, moving on, Bears 49ers. This was just an absolute flood. The field was completely flooded. It was raining. The conditions were awful. If anybody watched the last 5 minutes of that game, the field was flooded. There's a few plays where there's players just slipping, the ball fumbling out. It was pure chaos. I was dying laughing. It was hilarious. And the Bears kind of came alive in the second half. The 49ers did not. They couldn't take advantage of the rain. Or disadvantage. I don't even. There's no as much as you want to say, oh yeah, the Bears, that game means nothing.
This game has no holding in any part of the season. This reminds me of that game last year. I don't know if you remember that Patriots Bills game in the
where
wind.
It's literally just
It's like that game. you can't. There's no
not at
takeaways
all.
from this game.
That was just an absolute crazy game. Good for the Bears to get a start in the season, 1-0 there. Steelers Bengals in overtime, dude. This week was already just crazy. The Bengals had an awful I have Joe Burrow in fantasy, as you'll see. So throwing 4 picks was not in his best interest. Pick 6. I think that was just really the difference in the game. Obviously, the Steelers won because of that. They still didn't play amazing. The Steelers played better than people probably thought they would. Obviously, they do have a good defense, but that was a game. The Bengals coming down at the end, some questionable calls, some close calls. Literally last second touchdown, and McPherson misses the extra point. Overtime is
didn't miss. Minka Fitzpatrick
I didn't know that.
It.
I actually had no clue. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I heard people talking about him. Wow.
So their defense won them the game. Pick 6. 4 picks. Blocked extra point to send it to overtime.
McPherson misses another one in overtime. Boswell misses one in overtime. Boswell eventually ends up winning the game for him. So bad start for the Bengals. I know they'll rebound. That's not like Joe Burrow to throw 4 picks, but it's just another very good game. One that we want to talk about quite a bit here is the Eagles-Lions, because as Lions fans, that was a game. It was a good game to watch. We were disappointed at times, but coming back, a 38-35 game. Now, this is something I've said all the time. If your team scores X amount of points, in this case 35, you should probably win the game. Unfortunately, they didn't do that with their defense laying up 38 points, but granted, against the Eagles, who a lot of people have doing very well this year, I expected a loss in this game, as we both did. So I'm happy with the offense. The offense scored 35 points. DeAndre Swift went crazy. Goff had a pretty Jared Goff game. One pick 6. Receivers dropping passes left and right. I'm not mad about it. It's just one play. I think he got hit as he threw, so it was not too mad about it. The defense could have played better, but had some good moments. I don't know what your thoughts were when you were watching. Yeah.
Defense was bad. Yeah. They were bad. Until the fourth quarter, they were bad. The offense wasn't great after that first drive either.
Second half offense was
But then, they picked it up. 35 points. They stay competitive in
against a good team. That's who they got blown out to last year.
I don't expect the Lions to be great this year, so that's...
A lot of people are like, super pissed off and like, this is the Lions again, same old Lions. But like, would the Lions have done this last year? They didn't. They didn't do it last year. It was the same situation. They played against the Eagles at home last year and they got blown out.
This was better. This was better than I've seen them play last year. They played better in this game than they did in their 3 wins
quick
last
note,
year.
We talked about Hutchinson's PFF grade last night. Obviously not great on pass rushing, pretty good on run blocking.
Yeah, second to last on pass rushing, but he was 25th on run defense.
So he had pressures. He was pressuring, didn't make any sacks, tackles. He probably had a few tackles, but he'll bounce back for sure. And then I sent you this morning. I don't know if you saw Malcolm Rodriguez had a very 12th on linebacker PFF grade. Best of any
out
rookies.
Of any of the 16 rookies.
Hey, Rodrigo looking good. I like it so far. There's a video of him chucking Kelsey. So, we're happy with the Lions so far. It's a loss, but I think it's a good loss as we're gonna put it. Moving on, we got the Dolphins and the Patriots. Now, this is the pick that I regret the most. Maybe, yeah. I don't know why I have any faith in this.
Throwing away the Bailey Zapp jersey is still over there, by the way. I haven't cleaned it up.
It's still sitting
over there.
So here's all you need to know about the Patriots is the fact that Matt Patricia is the offensive coordinator. That's all you need to know. Their offense just had absolutely nothing against the Dolphins that game. 20-7. It's just not a good game from the Patriots there. Dolphins are I think the Dolphins will be pretty good this year. The Patriots, I'm definitely second guessing. So that was that. We're just gonna Jets, Dolphins, obviously. Jets, Ravens.
Or Jets,
Lamar.
Ravens,
I think Lamar
Ravens,
played pretty good. He had a good quarterback rating. The Jets, don't have Zach Wilson. They were using Flacco, so that's just like one of those ones. There's no way.
What do you expect? I didn't watch either of
there's
these
a couple
games.
of those.
I haven't seen a single highlight from
the
any
only
of
one
these
I saw
games.
was Waddle against the Patriots. He did his Waddle celebration. That's like the only thing I saw. Jets Ravens, I didn't see a single thing. Commanders and Jags was a pretty good game. The Jags held their own. Carson Wentz had a pretty good game. I believe we were talking about this. I think Wentz threw 2 picks, I believe, in the game, which I didn't think he did. Yeah, he threw 2 interceptions.
4 tutties,
4 tutties, 27 for 41, 101 rating. QBR was 46-2. But the Washington had some, good performances from a lot of guys. Antonio Gibson had good games. Curtis Samuel led receiving. Jahan Dotson scoring 2 touchdowns. I believe scored 2 touchdowns. So just a good game from the Commanders. I like what I saw from them, but it's also against the Jags, who also I think had a pretty okay game. Interception towards the end sealed it. I watched kind of the end of that, but Zach picked the Jaguars. That was his only, of our 5 discrepancy picks we had this week, that was the only one Zach won over me, or I won over Zach. So that I'll take that at least. It wasn't -5. So then we go to the next few games here, which I guess is the other half of the screen, but we still have some afternoon games. Browns and Panthers. Baker Mayfield gets spoiled against his former team. So close. 26-24, 58. This was one field goal that actually went in to allow the Browns to win that. So not a bad performance from the Browns here. I know we weren't expecting the Panthers to be very good, but still pretty surprising what the Browns came up with, and we'll see, I guess, going forward. Then we got a tie. We were thinking we were going to get 2 ties this week, especially with the way that the Bengals-Steelers game was going. But another tie with the Colts and the Texans, another one you don't expect. The Colts went off to a really bad start. They did not have a good start. The Texans were in the lead for most of this game.
They were down 20-3, I think.
So that goes to overtime, and Blankenship misses a field goal. Was the missed field goal in overtime?
This is the other game that I saw literally nothing from this game.
Yeah, I think he missed he missed a field goal. It was overtime.
It might have been
overtime.
No, it was overtime.
So Texans are probably pretty happy to get a tie out of that. Colts are not happy to get a tie out of that. But I think it's the Colts. I think they'll be okay. Just first game.
Be fine.
Moving on. Now this is one that's actually kind of funny. So we had the Titans penciled in for this game, as probably most people did, and we saw the score. I don't know when the last time we checked the score was, but what was the score when we checked it?
I think it was when it was like 20-7 or 13-0. And it was like the 4th quarter, so we're like, okay, they won.
A couple hours later, Zach sees something on I think it was Twitter or Instagram, and it was like something about how the AFC East teams or AFC South teams.
Nobody in the AFC South won a game this weekend, and 2 of them played
each other. And we're like, what do you mean? Like, the Titans won, right?
Like, the Titans won.
So Zach checks it, and there's the Giants with the 21 20, and we're just like, no way, we just missed that too. So I mean, I guess, I don't know, we didn't watch this for a second, so I don't know really what happened.
I know Saquon
had a very good game.
Besides that,
I know, I don't think Henry did a ton. I'm trying to look at stats right now. Box score.
He had like
82,
21
for 82, no touchdowns.
Yeah.
Longest was 18, so nothing crazy. I believe Hillard caught 2 touchdown passes, so
yep.
I guess there's not a ton there. The Giants just played good. Daniel Jones was 17 for 21, 2 touchdowns, and obviously Saquon's the difference maker. They're 18 for 164 and touchdown. That's a difference maker in a closer game there. I don't really have much more to say about that, but definitely a surprising one. Another surprising one is the Green Bay Packers against the Vikings. I was watching. I think I watched the first half of that game. First of all, Justin Jefferson is Justin Jefferson. Just unbelievable. Like, dude's just the best player in the league right now. Like, without a doubt, he's just unbelievable. What sucks is that game would have been completely different if Christian Watson on their first offensive play didn't drop a 75-yard touchdown pass. So that didn't help out too much, and they didn't have much at all for the entire rest of the game. 7 touchdowns, but we see this a lot from the Green Bay Packers. We saw it last year. they're going to be fine. It's one game. At least I think they're going to be fine. It's just I'm sure Rodgers is going to be frustrated after that.
I mean, last year, same thing happened last year. They got blown out by the Saints. Everybody, Packers suck, and then they finished like 13-4. Yep. They'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be okay. So that was the first game of the late. I think the Titans were in the afternoon slot as well. Maybe the Colts Texans were too. It was Colts Texans, Giants Titans, Packers Vikings.
No, Colts Texans were 1 o'clock.
No, it wasn't. It was. I think it was afternoon.
No, that game ended the same time as the Bengals. They were both.
I'm stupid. Yeah, I'm totally. It was the Giants Titans. Sorry, my bad.
The Chiefs, Cardinals are still
I know.
Same with Raiders, Chargers.
Yeah. So, Cardinals and Chiefs. I had the Cardinals. I don't know why. Kyler Murray didn't have a good game. The Chiefs were the Chiefs, and that's all you really need to know. Patrick Mahomes, 30 for 39, 360, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Pacheco took the most carries in that game. 12 carries, didn't really do much with them. He had 1 long for 22. Other than that, he didn't really have much. Clyde.
12 for 62, I believe.
Clyde was catching passes and scored 2 touchdowns, I believe. Yep, 3 receptions, 32 yards. So Clyde had a good fantasy game at least. Receiving, Kelsey went crazy, 8 for 121. Juju caught the most passes, 6 for 79. MVS caught some passes. The Chiefs are going to be just fine. I have them not making the playoffs. I think now I have to change that. The Chiefs are going to be just fine. So, Cardinals, like I said, not a great game there. No interceptions from Kyler, but 22 for 34. Just overall, it's the Chiefs, I guess. So, it's tough, but
they didn't have anything.
Did not have anything the whole game. Next afternoon game, we got the Raiders and the Chargers. We both had the Chargers in this game. This is another game that I didn't really watch any of. I was only looking for fantasy. Keenan Allen gets hurt, hamstring. Hopefully he'll be good next few weeks because I have him in fantasy, like I said. But yeah, nothing crazy.
Do you want to just real quick? Because I have Devontae Adams in fantasy. Look how many targets Devontae Adams had.
Do it. Tell me.
Oh, it'll tell you if you go to box score. It'll show you exactly how many targets Devontae Adams had.
I don't see targets. I see 17 targets, 10 receptions. Okay.
Yeah. 17 targets. It's 40% of the target share.
141 yards, a touchdown. Yeah, okay, that's quite a bit. Well, that's like 30 fantasy points. Waller had,
So he's their offense.
He is their offense, yeah. And they came close against a good Chargers team who a lot of people have to do very well right, in the AFC. So good close game there. That's a good one. Once again, didn't really watch too much of that, but good game. The Sunday night game is Cowboys and Bucks, and that was a tough one to watch for many reasons. Number one, Zach had Dak in fantasy and needed at least an okay performance. And
I just needed him to score 8 points. Just 8 points.
And this whole game was just boring. It was field goal after field goal after field goal. There was a single touchdown in the entire game. This was just not a fun game. We were watching 51, 44, 38, 29, 47. 5 field goals and a touchdown. It was back and forth, just awful football. It was just boring defensive football. So Dak Prescott gets injured. He's out now for 6 to 8 weeks. Now I did see today that they are saying he might be able to play as early as 4 weeks. Which probably won't happen. I'm trying to see where I saw that, or at least try to find. Jerry Jones said won't put Dak Prescott at injured reserve. He thinks his injured quarterback could return within the next 4 weeks. Don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. That's just probably Jerry Jones talking, but but that's definitely something to note. Cowboys, who are supposed to have at least a mediocre season, with Dak out. With Dak in, they just scored 3 points. So that's that. So Bucks, I wouldn't say an easy win, but the Cowboys also didn't score.
Bucks didn't even look good.
No,
Bucks didn't look good either. Yeah. They just
both were just back and forth.
That was
not a great game.
Yeah, it was not a fun game.
No. And then last night was a close game. It was a good game. The Broncos and Seahawks, Broncos country. Let's not really. They didn't ride last night. Russell Wilson, I don't think Russ played too bad last night, but
no.
It was more obviously
fumbles.
He had fumbles. Javonte two red zone fumbles
from the 1 yard line.
Javonte Williams
from the 1 yard line.
Yeah, just you can't do that. They win that game. They should win that. There's no reason the Seahawks win that game.
Well, and then the play
and
calling
then the play calling at the
Nathaniel
end.
Hackett, they run the clock down to
20 seconds and then take the timeout and then go for the field goal, 64-yarder. I think it had the distance, but obviously he just missed it.
It was just off.
It sucks. Hey, good for the Seahawks though. You saw how fired up they were. Good for Geno Smith. Finally become. I think they said it's his first start in week 1 since in 8 years or something like that. So definitely he had a good game. Like he played good, made good throws, escaped the pocket.
Unironically, I know we said Russ played pretty good. He outplayed Russ.
He did. And
he outplayed Russ.
I don't know if you saw the video afterwards of Geno Smith grabbing was it Goodwin's ass.
Yeah, I saw
that's going around. That's hilarious. But
he reached out, he grabbed it. He got a handful.
It was a handful. So that was a close game. That was a good game. It was an exciting game to watch. And that wraps up the week. I'm a bit disappointed with my picks this week, going 5-10-1. If you look at the right half of my board, I got one game in the second half of the games correct. Everything else was either a tie or a loss. Evening was not kind to me. Zach once again did better with the few picks that he did make that were different than mine. He had four. He had 4 wins. I had 1 win.
No, 3. I had 3 over there. It was just Bucks, Chargers, Chiefs.
But then we have 5 differences because you had the Bucks.
Yeah, because you got Washington.
Oh yeah.
I had Bucks, Chiefs, and then Bills.
Yep.
Bucks, Chiefs, Bills, and then. Who else?
Dolphins.
Miami.
Yeah. So you had 4 wins. I had 1 win. So that kind of I started with a 3-game disadvantage. Luckily, there's plenty of time to make that up. Hopefully, we can have some better weeks. Hopefully, next week is going to be a little bit of a better week. So real quick, what we're going to do is we're going to check out fantasy. So Zach and I are in some fantasy leagues together. We are in some of our own leagues, and just a heartbreaking week for both of us. Just absolutely. Just heartbreaking. So I'm going to record my screen. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do this. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just recording my screen right now. I'm going to show you my matchup this week. First of all, Joe Burrow he still put up 20 points. Now, this is our Dynasty League. We're in a Dynasty. I think we did a draft video podcast before this. But I forget, what are our stats for quarterbacks? Because we have them boosted a little bit. What are the yards, points?
5 for touchdowns instead of 4, and then it's 5 points per 100 yards instead of 4.
No, it's 6 for passing touchdowns.
Is it? So 6 for passing touchdowns,
and then
it's 5...
0.05 per yard.
It's 5 points per 100 yards.
Yep,
as opposed to 4 points per 100
yards. So we have
yards.
Our quarterbacks boosted because we do not have a super flex. That's just the way we went. So Burrow once again still put up 20 points, which is good. Minus the 4. Look, I mean, if you just look at his stats, minus 8 points for passes intercepted. He threw a pick 6, so I guess we have minus 3 for pick 6s. I didn't know that until I saw it. And then minus 2 for fumble lost and minus 2 for fumble. Joe Burrow lost so many points. I mean, I win the week. I lose by 1.4, sorry, and one pick is the difference in that. Swift went absolutely crazy for me. ETN didn't do much. Diggs obviously went crazy. Keenan Allen gets injured. Once again, if he doesn't get injured, I win the week. There's a lot of... I should win this week. Just a lot of stuff went wrong here. Knox did little. He caught 1 pass the whole game. Amon St. Brown did Amon St. Brown things. 12 targets, 8 receptions, a touchdown, 64 yards. A pretty recent Amon St. Brown performance. Edmonds didn't do a ton. I think most of Miami didn't really do a lot for fantasy this week. Eagles defense was probably a bad play. They got kind of pooped on other than they obviously got a touchdown. They got a pick 6. So that helped me with points. I would have lost. Well, I totally would have lost points. Yeah, I would have lost 4 points if they didn't have 1 sack, an interception, and a pick 6. So my bench, Jamal Williams got 2 touchdowns, so that would have been a better play. Robbie Anderson got a 75-yard touchdown, so that would have been, I guess, a lucky play. I didn't play him. Would have won the week if I played that. Would have won the week if I played a Higbee instead of Dawson Knox. Would have won the week if I played Rams defense over the Eagles. So there's a lot of question marks. One last pick from Joe Burrow. I win the week, so... Tough week. We were waiting on the guy I played had Javonte Williams. Literally, the difference in that game was it came down to the last drive, and they decided to check it down to Javonte Williams to try to get into field goal range, and that was literally the difference in the game. I was winning before that last play, that third down play, and I lost in that third down play. So tough loss to start us off this week. And then if Zach, you want to go over yours really quick. Another heartbreaking loss for Zach.
So I lost a week because of Dak Prescott and nobody else. Dak Prescott is just the literal entire reason that I lost my week. I had 60 points combined from Kupp and Adams. James Conner had a decent game. David Montgomery could be a little better. But 8 points isn't horrendous. 9 points from a tight end. Goddard, not bad either. Cooks with a good flex week for me, 17. 7 points out of defense, can't be too mad. And then Sammy Watkins, bad week too. But it was Dak Prescott. I had Duvernay on my bench, but it was Dak Prescott. I'm very upset with Dak Prescott this week. 5 points.
You win the week if you put Bucs defense in.
I win the week if I put Davis Mills in, Devin Singletary at flex.
You win the week if you put Treylon Burks in instead of same. There's a lot of things you could. It's tough. We have deep benches, so it's really hard to be able to manage that. Obviously,
or my quarterback puts up double-digit points. That would have worked too.
That would have worked too. Obviously, he's got Justin Jefferson, who put up 41 points. Who made it for Devonta Smith, who had 0 points. So just a tough week for you, unfortunately. Both of us losing by razor-thin margins. So that's a tough week. My other league here is I took a major L this week. Joe Burrow, this is obviously not as good quarterback stats. Mixon had a decent game. Zeke didn't do much. I have Jamar. He did Jamar things. I had Michael Thomas put up touchdowns. Albert O actually had 5 targets, even though they were throwing to other tight ends the whole game. I know that Beck, I think it's Andrew Beck, had a good game. Ayuk didn't put up much. Parker didn't do anything. Bass had a kicker game. Colts defense could have been better. This league I'm not as worried about, but still kind of a tough loss. I kind of got, the guy I played, all of his players put up good points other than Alvin Kamara. So definitely a tough week fantasy for both of us, but hoping for a bounce back week next week. All right, we are going to be moving into this week 2's picks. Who we have to win the next few games here. Definitely exciting. I'm ready to see the next couple weeks here. After the first week, it's tough because you don't know what teams are going to be good out of nowhere. So now we maybe have a little bit of a better idea, especially after this week. It's going to be a lot better of an idea of what we think is going to happen. So let's make our picks. We don't know who each other picked for these games, so we're just going to see what happens. So game 1. Chargers at Kansas City should be a very good game. I have the Kansas City Chiefs. I bet against them last week. Can't do that again this week. I just can't. Next game, New York Jets at the Cleveland Browns. This is the one that I had the most trouble picking, in my opinion. I'm taking the Browns. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns this week. You as well?
Yeah, I'm same as you so far. I got Chiefs and Browns in the first 2. No way I have the Chiefs losing that game. And then Man, it's the Jets, man. Come on. Browns aren't going to have an issue with the Jets.
Yep, you better hope not. The next game is one Zach is going to. Zach's going to be at that game. Lions and Washington Commanders. This is a big game for the Lions. They need to get a win under their belt, and I'm taking them. I think they're going to win this week.
I'm going to be at the game. I'm going to be at the game. What am I? I'm not going to pick the Lions when I'm at the game. No, I've got the Lions in this game.
Fair enough. Lions taking their first dub. Next game is it's a big game, big divisional game. Tampa Bay at New Orleans Saints. I've got the Bucs here.
I've got the Bucs as well.
You got the Bucs
Saints
as well. Okay, I thought maybe you picked Saints.
Week.
I feel the Bucs weren't great either, but I don't know. I feel like the Bucs are gonna do something here. What was that?
Should I pick that up?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Money's gone.
Next game, we got Carolina and New York Giants. This is another interesting game, especially I think for the Giants because they win week 1. I don't know if it was a fluke or maybe they're actually a good team. I've got the Giants winning this week at home.
I do too.
Carolina, even though they were close, I think the Giants could be good, especially after that last week performance.
I don't
know. But this is for certain teams. This is a big week because after the first week, it's like, can they do it again? If they do it again, then you're like, this is a real team. So if the Giants do it again, then you're like, the Giants are 2-0. So we'll see. After that, New England at Pittsburgh. I have the Patriots rebounding for this game.
Yeah, the Steelers. That defense was too good. It was too good.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And the Steelers' defense was elite. and the Patriots offense
now, here's
was
the thing.
not elite.
Here's the thing, right? Okay. This is my last time picking the Patriots if they lose. Like, I did it again.
Yeah.
It's gonna lose me another game. Yeah. This will be the last time I pick them if I lose. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't really have a ton of reasoning. It's just who knows with the NFL. It's a random pick. You're probably right though. Yeah, you're probably right.
That offense was really bad and that defense was really good.
Yep. Colts at Jags. Jags obviously with a decent performance against the Commanders. The Colts, they're going to want to rebound after that tie. The Colts are definitely going to take that game.
Yeah, it's Colts, yeah.
They should take that game. That's who they lost to last year to knock them out of the playoffs, to be fair, though.
Yup.
So, there's that. Miami at Baltimore should be a really good game. That should be a fantastic game. I have the Ravens. The Ravens looked good enough last week.
This is a boring week. I got the Ravens as well.
It is a boring week. That's going to be a good. I'm excited to see what happens with that game for sure. Because Miami obviously coming off a win. The Ravens obviously played the Jets, so there's that game. Atlanta at the Rams. The Rams looking to rebound at home. Not that their home field advantage really means much of anything, considering they're on the silent count the whole game. But the Rams will win that. Should win that game.
Yeah, they have to win that game.
They better win that game. Seattle at San Francisco. I think this is definitely a prove it week for both teams. San Francisco, obviously, in a garbage game of rain, which you can't really write much into. This is almost week 1 for them this week, and the Seahawks are looking to replicate, even though they probably shouldn't have won. They're trying to replicate another win. Regardless, I have the Seahawks this week. I think the Seahawks take this one.
That's a strange pick.
That's a risky one. Here's the thing, right?
I went 5 and 49ers in a blowout, by the way. In a blowout.
I mean, it definitely could be. With the way my picks went last week, I gotta try something out. I just do. So Seahawks again. Will it happen? Probably not, but that's my pick. Would have been a good game maybe if Dak was still in, but Bengals at Dallas. I don't know if I'll be picking Dallas for any game upcoming here. So Bengals will take this one. Should take this one. Houston at Denver. The Broncos should win that one. It's the Houston Texans. Even though they put up a decent effort against the Colts, should still be the Broncos. What I think will be another good game here is, did I miss one? Or no, there's 2 Monday nights. Never mind. Arizona at Las Vegas. This should be a really good game here. I'm excited to see what happens with this one. I have the Raiders at home.
Yep. I do too.
Cardinals, obviously they're playing the Chiefs, but still didn't look that good last week. They'll have to prove it this week, or they're going to be 0-2 with a decent team. So we'll have to see what happens there. And then Chicago, Green Bay, Monday Night Football should be a good one. Green Bay's at home. The Bears. The Packers. The Packers are going to rebound. Like, it's just going to happen.
Packers against the Bears.
Yeah, at home too, at Lambeau. You got to, So, 2 Monday night games this week. I don't know the reasoning behind that, but that's what we have, and I guess I'm not too mad about it. 7:15 game, Tennessee at Buffalo should be a good game. I'm still picking the Bills just because it's the Bills, but the Titans didn't look good last week. Maybe they'll rebound, as hopefully they're gonna hope, but the Bills just have looked too good after 1 week. And it's the Bills, so I'm sure we both have the Bills here at home.
Until further notice, I don't think any game involving the Buffalo Bills is going to be a good game.
Yeah, that's fair. And then the other game, honestly, is definitely a close one. Maybe, I don't know. Minnesota at Philadelphia. Especially with the week Minnesota had last week, it's going to make things interesting. I have Philadelphia still. I'm still very high on the Eagles this year. So, do you have the Vikings?
I have the Vikings. I think the Vikings have it. I think they're good. I think they're really good.
They played good. So I think that's going to be a good game. I think that's really going to be a good game.
I want to put it out there right now. If I could change one division winner today, I'd take the Vikings to win the North. I think the Vikings are going to win the North. They looked very good.
They looked very good. They definitely look good. So we'll see. Don't like that for the Lions, considering I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's week by week, it's different, but Philadelphia playing back-to-back NFC North teams, so that is what we have for picks for the week. So 3 differences. Going to be exciting to see this week. This is one that's going to shape up kind of the whole season, I think. So that's definitely close. And the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to start doing a weekly little fantasy pick. We're going to pick one of each position. It's not going to be anything crazy, not a full roster. Pick one quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and a defense who we think is going to be best in fantasy this week. And I don't know how we're going to do this, if we're going to add up total points throughout the season or if we're just going to do by week. What do you want to do? Do you want to like just keep record?
Yeah, just keep by week for it.
What the record is. So just see who gets the most points. So let's just go off what we have. You already see this on the screen, but me and you don't know who each other have.
Nope.
So starting off, quarterback. Who's your quarterback this week?
It's Josh Allen again.
Okay, I chose Aaron Rodgers. I went for a little bit more of a home run pick.
I almost did, but he wasn't good last week. So and it's Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I went more for like a rebound week for Rodgers. So running back, who do you have?
I've got Jonathan Taylor at Jacksonville.
I got Jonathan Taylor as well.
It's at Jacksonville.
He had a good week last weekend. Their team didn't do great. So I have the same thing. Receiver.
I've got Devontae Adams.
Okay. I went Justin Jefferson.
See, that's a fair pick. It is a much better. I don't know. I think
it's not a good matchup. It's not as good of a matchup.
We'll see.
Because the Eagles' defense is. But to
be
fair, the Eagles' defense did get.
Packers' defense is better.
Yeah.
But
so
Devontae Adams' 40% target share is literally absurd.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No.
I'm going Devontae.
That's fair. I like that.
Now, I want you to go first on tight end.
Did you do a crazy one?
Yeah, you'll see.
I want Kelsey, the Chiefs.
Okay.
Kelsey.
I have the other tight end in that game. I have Gerald Everett as my tight end. He had, I think, 14 fantasy points last week.
Yeah.
Touchdown, 4 receptions, 30 yards. I've got Gerald Everett.
That is pretty solid. I like that a lot.
So we have a matchup on Thursday night.
That we're gonna be watching for that for sure.
A top
what
five
about
tight
defense
end versus Travis Kelce?
Now here's the thing with defense. Defense is a crapshoot because it's all about turnovers for the most part. The Dolphins and the Steelers had the most points last week. It is a toss up every single week. Who you have?
I got the Browns against that Jets offense.
I have the 49ers. Against Seattle. Even though I have Seattle winning the week, which doesn't make sense. A little contradictory, but I'm expecting a lot of turnovers. A close game. I don't know why I even picked that, but fantasy-wise, maybe they'll still be good.
Never know.
Yeah. Yep, you do never know. So that really is just about it. I don't know if we have anything else to talk about. Any other parting words or what game are you most looking forward to this week?
What game do you think I'm most looking forward to this week? The
one that you're going to. Never mind. Never mind. That's a stupid question. Other than the Detroit Lions, other than your own team, what game are you? Because obviously we're gonna watch the Lions. What game are you gonna watch?
Thursday night again. Chiefs Chargers.
Thursday night
should be very good.
That's another good Thursday night game. Absolutely. Yeah, that's gonna. I'm probably with you there.
It's gonna be high scoring.
Should be high scoring. Looking at there's no other game that I'm like, wow, that's gonna be a really good one. Other than, I talked about what else? Tampa Bay New Orleans should be a good game, 1 p.m. But I'll be watching the Lions. Yep. So other than the 1 p.m. slot, definitely Kansas City, Los Angeles. I think the Monday night games will be good. Sunday night will be probably it's Green Bay, so maybe not too great, but divisional matchup should be a blowout. So. We'll be back next week with our results. In the comments below, what I want you guys to do if you're still watching at this point, which you're probably not, make your own 5-player fantasy predictions. Go through each player, each position, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense, play along with us, and see if you can make a better roster for this week of who you think is going to be good. I want to see what you guys have to offer, and that's just about it. This is a little bit longer than I expected this to be, but this will probably kind of be how it is every single week. So thanks so much for watching this episode of our podcast. We'll see you back here after week 2, heading into week 3 next week, and have a good one.